If you've spent any time at all in the tech world, you've probably seen it. That classic tug of war between the people who build the cool new stuff and the people who have to make sure it doesn't break at 3 a.m. It's a tale as old as time, or at least as old as software. But what if that friction, that conflict, could actually become collaboration? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
So, before we can get to the solution, we've really got to understand the problem. For decades, the world of software was pretty much split down the middle by a huge wall separating two very important teams, development and operations.
So, why was there so much friction? Why the constant battle? It's not because they were different kinds of people. It was actually baked right into the system. The very structure of their jobs literally set them up to be on opposite sides. And here's the heart of it all. It really boils down to completely opposite goals. The development team, or dev, their whole job is to push for change, to innovate, to build new features, and to get them out the door fast. But then you have the operations team, or ops, and their job is to guarantee stability, to make sure nothing breaks. So when you've got one team whose job is to go fast and break things, and another whose job is to prevent anything from ever breaking, well, you've just built a giant wall right through the middle of your company.
Okay, so out of all that chaos and all that friction, a totally new way of thinking started to emerge. A philosophy designed to tear down that wall and get everybody, and I mean everybody, pulling in the same direction. And that new culture, that's what we call DevOps.
I really love this definition from Donovan Brown because it just nails it. It shows that DevOps isn't just some new tool you buy or a fancy job title you hand out. No, it's a deep cultural shift. It's all about bringing together people, processes, and products for one single shared goal to constantly deliver real value to the people using your software.
And this whole culture really stands on 3 main pillars. The first one is collaboration. Actually breaking down those silos so dev and ops can work as one single team. The second is process, moving to faster, more iterative ways of working that give you quick feedback. And third, of course, is tools, picking the right technology that helps automate everything and that the entire team can get behind. Those 3 things together are the foundation.
So this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do teams actually make this happen? Well, a massive part of the answer is automation. And right at the core of all that automation is the real engine of DevOps, something we call CI/CD.
So the first half of that engine is CI, or continuous integration. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. Instead of developers hiding away, working on their own for weeks, and then trying to merge all their code at the end, which, trust me, is a total nightmare, they merge their code into a shared place multiple times a day.
And here's the magic. Every single time a developer pushes their new code, a whole automated process just kicks off. The system automatically builds the application and runs a whole bunch of tests. The entire point of this is super fast feedback. If something is broken, the team knows about it in minutes, not days or weeks later. And that makes it so much easier and cheaper to fix.
All right, so once the change makes it through all those automated tests in CI, we get to the second half, CD, or continuous delivery. And it's really the next logical step, right? If we've already automatically tested the code and we know it's good, why not automatically get it ready for release?
The CD pipeline picks up right where CI left off. It takes that successfully built package and automatically pushes it out to different testing environments, like a staging server. Now here's the really important part. The final push to the live production environment is still a manual button press. It becomes a business decision. The key takeaway is that the software is always in a state where it could be released, but an actual human gets to make the final call on when to go live.
Now, this whole idea of automation doesn't just stop with the application code. A huge part of the DevOps mindset is applying those exact same principles to the infrastructure that the application runs on. This is where things get really interesting.
And this is a practice called infrastructure as code, or IAC. The idea is, instead of manually clicking around in some web portal to set up your servers, your databases, and your networks, you define all of it in simple configuration files. You treat your infrastructure just like code.
So let's look at what that means in practice. On the left, you've got what's called an imperative command. You are telling the system step by step how to do something. But look at the right. That's the declarative IAC way. You're not barking orders. You're just describing the end state you want. You're saying, hey, I want a resource group that looks like this. And the tool figures out the how for you. It's so much cleaner, easier to read, and way, way less prone to human error.
And the benefits of doing things this way, they are absolutely massive. Since your infrastructure is now just a text file, you can check it into version control, just like your app code. You get a perfect history of every single change. You can create identical, standardized environments with the click of a button. Deployments become fast and reliable. And you can even save money by automatically spinning up and tearing down environments whenever you need them.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. We've talked about culture, about CI/CD pipelines, about infrastructure as code, but let's bring it all home. What's the real payoff here? Why is pretty much every company on the planet trying to make this shift?
At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Adopting a DevOps culture just leads to happier, more collaborative teams. It drastically cuts down the time it takes to get a brilliant idea from a developer's mind into a user's hands. It lowers costs through all that smart automation. But the most important thing is that it frees up your brilliant people from just fighting fires and doing boring, repetitive work. It gives them the time to focus on what they were hired to do, build amazing things that create real value for your users.
Ultimately, DevOps isn't just a collection of tools and practices. It's a complete change in how you think. It's about consciously choosing collaboration instead of conflict, and shared ownership instead of pointing fingers. And that really leaves one final question for you to think about when it comes to your own team. Are you guys building walls, or are you building bridges?